Hello and welcome to another uh Shield Up, where we are coloring up Canadian Shield. Uh Looks like today we will get to some things. Finishing up panel 5, coloring, and somehow it looks like a couple things I did in 5 are not finished. Okay, that is strange. Anyways, it's easy enough to finish them up. Let's start with a quick prayer. Lord, thank you for a good day yesterday. Thank you for the time to be able to stream today, Lord. And thank you that this is going to be a good stream. Hopefully, we can have good conversations in the chat, let good conversations take place. And yeah, I guess that's it for what I can think of for now. Okay, okay, so let me just share this out. Let's grab that link, put it in the Discord. Okay, so we'll finish up getting the stuff in panel 5, then we'll go and get stuff on panel 6 to make Canadian Shield, tighten the colors there. So let's go here. Just slightly because of this color. We're going to straighten up that there too. Probably put a line in. Did I go back too far when I was trying to do some things for the? And I redid the shield things, so that we gotta recolor those in panels 2 and 4. One spot I was trying to do something off air, and I think maybe I went back too far. I wasn't seeing it go back, do what I wanted, so that's probably what happened. Okay, that partially is wrong because this color should be on the thing below. So let's. Okay, we're definitely got a bunch of stuff to do in this panel. Is it shift add? Okay, so we're gotta be on the right layer too. So X, Control V. Then we're going to merge that one with the layer below. There we go. Voila! Grab that color quickly. And we'll move on right there. Okay, so that is done. Small minor problem. Okay, so come up to this level here. Color. And go. We're gonna add a layer here because there's a door. Oh yeah, we're saying we need to draw hinges on that door too. I guess we'll do that while we are on stream here, maybe. Another thing I don't like is there's a chair in this hallway that you should probably see because this hallway is not that big. I don't know. I hate it when things are not right and I don't know what to do. Okay, so let's grab the wall color again. Most of this. Just seeing through the crack in the door. Okay, we're going to come down here. Grab this color. And see to about somewhere around there. For the floor, wall. Okay, so now this color is supposed to, this spot right here is supposed to be for a cupboard in the kitchen. Guess cupboards nowadays are normally white. But I think I'm gonna make it a brownish color. He's gonna like the wood type. Okay, now this is probably supposed to be a light switch or something here. Okay, so liking that all the colors are in that panel. So we're gonna go up to panel 2 here. And fix uh, the red here, because that's all that looks like needs to be fixed. And panel 2, right? Okay, there. Let's grab the red, and then a little bit more. Okay, so there we go. There's panel 2 fit done for that. So panel 4 again, not it's gonna take a lot. There we go. Okay, so we're on the red again. Let's get the everything outside of. Let's make this eraser just slightly bigger. In here. Uh, Smaller now. This will need finer details. get rid of the background for now. I just want to know what I'm dealing with here. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit more. We just get all of this. So how is everybody doing today that's here? If anybody is here? It's this bit of red here. Okay, so I also want to this one line. That's part of. Hey, yes. There we go. Out. Let's give some colors back. The background. And then the Canadian Shield white. There we go. That is done. That looking good. So we'll close that for now. We'll hopefully be back to that later today, because we're going to go down to panel 6 here. We're going to tighten up all the colors, and then we're going to go back to panel 1 and go through and do the shading and lighting. Oh, actually, I think before we do that, we're gonna go to panel 5 again. We're gonna make the hinges in there and color them in. And put a couple minor lines in. Of hair. Hair today, gone tomorrow. Right? Gee. Go. There we go again. Oh, hey! Last of how are you? Hey, what's going on? Not much, as you sort of suspected. I am working on Canadian Shield, page 3. Just tightening up the colors on Canadian Shield here in panel 6. And I've got most of it colored, but I've got to come into panel 5 here. Put a line right in there for, that sort of thing. And then on this door here, I got to create some hinges and color them. And then I'm going to be shading and lighting this page. So this is basically where he's talking to John Sims, sort of a little bit about his history, telling this guy that he met because of the incident in the last issue with Toxico. He put him up for a few days or whatever, fed him. So we'll come back in here. Helps when you're on the right layer if you're trying to erase something. So I'm not sure whether you've heard, Massive. July 5th. Actually, I gotta go over the. I didn't do the skin. I thought I did. July 5th, I am launching this issue on From My Comic. It's looking like it'll be launched over on Dillard's channel. Oh, that's what number 8 is. That's. I gotta have myself instead of doing this. Okay, we're gonna go. Before we do the white, we're gonna do the skin color. Or more accurately, doing the launch party on John's channel. I was talking to him last night about that after he did the launch party. July 5th on Dylan's channel. Yeah, we'll be starting probably about noon. I'll do my show here, take, probably half an hour break, and then end up on Dillard's channel. Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it over the last little bit while he's been doing stuff. Unfortunately, I was out last night at a praise and worship and a prayer thing, which I usually go to every Friday night, and I got home like a minute after it ended. Or technically, I probably got home in time, but by the time I got on my computer and checked on Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube, it said it had ended like a minute ago, and it's like, crap. So I ended up going in the back room afterwards and talked to Dillard. And a couple of the guys that were there, although and that's sort of what gave me a thought, maybe launch on Dillard. He can usually draw a bigger crowd than I can, so. Oh, and it looks like we need to put a line here too. That looks good. Okay, so back down to the coloring. Let's grab that color again. And move it. Although I might have to take out some of this cross hatching because I don't think it would go over. Maybe I'm not sure whether take it out from the bottom or the top. Not right now. What am color. So what have you been up to, Massive? How are you doing? How's your weekend going? I'd like to have a good 5 pages color, maybe 6 before start the campaign. There's going to be being a draw-in tier, so that's going to be $100. I'm not sure whether they're American or Canadian. I'm not sure what I'm raising and it in from my comic at this point. I'm not sure whether they automatically do American. It doesn't matter. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of pages to color. And probably right after finishing coloring this, I'm going to have to be coloring Snowdrift 2. Um, I've got the money to pay Dillard to do the last few pages. So I've actually just got to put it in PayPal. So technically, I could be launching. This is going to be launching, like I said, July, go to September 5th. Um, Colors, yeah. I don't mind it. Although, again, I would also like to hire a colorist. But the one thing I like right now is I get to set the I get to set the I get to set the tone, the coloring, and hopefully I can say, hey, this is the type of coloring I want. I want the bright, vibrant colors. You know, I like a little bit more vibrancy in my comics. And I get at some like the darker, grittier stuff. And that's fine. I I think people for my universe, I think the vibrant colors would probably more inspire hope. Yeah, me too. I like saturated, colorful images in comics. Yeah, I just think, and like I said, there's definitely a time and place for it. But I think the darker, non-saturated ones, the dreary ones, they just, I'm not sure how to put it. It just, well, the color sets the tone, right? The mood. And usually, if you have those darker, drear colors, the comic seems a bit drearier. And I know sometimes I have a night scene, so you have to have the darker colors then for sure. But probably if you're doing a horror story or something like that, you'd probably do want the darker colors and all that. That's the tone of the book. Okay, so it's just a touch skin outside. Okay. Oh, we still gotta go up this arm. Oops. Thought we had did it all, but I guess not. Uh, have have you bought or read any good comics lately? Well, I just recently got. Well, I haven't got. Well, I started reading it, but I hadn't finished it. I got one from my dad that was um not superhero. I'm not sure what to call it. Of course, I've purchased the Great Cyclopean. No, not Great Cyclopean. Um, it is by Hero Shack though. I forget the Cardinal of Justice. Hero Shack is a good company if you want to get some good comics. A bunch of their stuff is free off their website, I believe, um, which is HeroShack.com. They've been on here a few times before, Chris and Diana. Uh, Also, of course, it hasn't come in yet. And of course, after that, I've also got the Golden Patriot, which hasn't come in yet, but I'm sure will be coming in soon. Yeah, here, let me get a link to their website. They have a YouTube channel. I'll grab that too for you. Okay, that's a website plus specifically their free comic page. And let me get their YouTube channel for you. There's actually links to their. I usually end up on there on Wednesday nights. Actually, they've got a good channel. They just finished a campaign for a book called The Cardinal of Justice. It's like 160 pages. It's gonna be good. Chris is a good writer. He's a one man show. His wife does the editing for him. But he does the writing, you know, the drawing and all that, the coloring. Although Cardinal of Justice is going to be black and white. And like I said, they just finished a campaign over on Fund My Comic. His wife, they did do some stuff on Kickstarter way back when for their Cyclopean. They're gonna try. She's gonna try and do a campaign over on Kickstarter for that, so you could actually still get that. I'm not sure whether the campaign's actually closed over on Fund My Comic. Um, Let me see about that too for you. Uh, probably spelled that wrong. I'm not sure whether. Uh, I know it's Cardinal Justice. I think he renamed it something else. Oh, you know what? My contributions. Uh, Darkness dies. The faces of card. Let's see. Yeah, it's closed now. But let me put a link to it. That way you can know if you want to check it out. Uh, I'll let you know if you're here around. I'll let you know about when it starts on Kickstarter. Should be starting the next couple weeks on Kickstarter. Okay, so there's pretty much the page done. Well, not done, but the basic colors in. Um, like I said, we need to do a couple minor things in panel 5 here for like put some hinges on the door and one small line. Add another layer here. Oh, let's. Jeez. Up somewhere in the right thing panel. Okay, so let's erase. Let's. Oh, I know where that is. That is in the panel 6. Let's just delete that layer entirely because it wasn't even supposed to be there. Oh, no problem. Like the last one, it gives you an idea of what the book that he was just doing. Normally, the Great Cyclopean is closer to probably my style, more upbeat and all that, um, more vibrant. But he was trying to do a little something different with that one, and he got inspired by somebody else's character. Um, it should be a very good book, though. Okay, so there we go. Let's take a little bit off there. Okay, so let's see. That looks about right. And then what? I want to develop that. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that. We want to bring that up a little. Let's bring this first one right up to the top. That looks good there. I just need to make sure it's okay. And then let's add another one. Is Alpha Proto still working on line art for your other comic? Yeah, he's still working on stuff for the Canadian Shield Ashcan, and after he is done that, he will be working on Canadian Shield 4. You get have you seen the first page of the full first page of the Ashcan? Okay, well here, give me a sec. I should be able to bring it up. Comics, comics. Do you do comics for people or not? Um, Massive. Not sure whether I've seen your style or not. I know I think I bought your stuff on the one site, but I unfortunately I never read it yet. Too much to do. Oh, something you probably haven't seen. Couple of trailers. Hopefully they will. It's just me, I think. It's, I thought I had a media one in this one, but I guess I don't. Uh, media source. Go to play the promo. The first, well, first two promos. I put them in one thing, so. And then I'll play you a song that I developed for Community Shield.
Be prepared for on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. He is coming to fund my comic! So who is coming to fund my comics on July 5th, 2025? It's the one, the only, the courageous Canadian Shield landing on Fund My Comic on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. Be there! Yeah!
So what do you think of that video? Besides liking my thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm slowly going to be doing ash cans like I did for the Canadian Shield. I've actually written Snowdrift's one, and I'd like to get different artists on that project. Eventually they're going to be all brought into one thing and colored, because when they just get put out to people, they're not going to be colored. This ash can won't be colored. This 4-page ash can, but I'll bring them into one book, colored, to sell, and then that's going to lead into some event, some sort of event in some sort of story arc in my comics. Okay. Hopefully this is the most recent version of this. Find out soon enough. Okay, so here's the next one. This is a song promo that I'm doing. I did the lyrics myself, but you'll see what it is.
A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian Shield with the power of strength. Canadian Shield with the power of speed. Canadian Shield with the power of flight. Canadian Shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting in his life. Canadian Shield saves him in the nick of time.
Yeah, it's through an AI animation. I've actually been doing a lot, showing a lot of the program.
With this, the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian Shield with the power of strength. Canadian Shield with the power of speed. Canadian Shield with the power of flight. Canadian Shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. A villain appears and threatens many. Canadian Shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian Shield wins and many are saved. Canadian Shield with the power of strength. Canadian Shield with the power of speed. Canadian Shield with the power of flight. Canadian Shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need.
Yeah, and eventually those black spots are going to have animation in them. It's just this is where it's come at the moment. I'm actually going to be replacing the nose stuff and all that with a little bit of animation of those things too. Ah, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, like I was using the AI to do the music and the song, but it wasn't giving me the words that I really wanted. So I came up with the words all myself. I'm probably going to end up having a second, slightly second different version, as long as I can get it done in time. Saying about launching July 5th, which I got to get that. I got to get that video done this week because I'm going up to my dad's for a week. From the 22nd to about uh, of this month to about the 28th, maybe the 29th, because well, it might be my birthday's on the 24th, and it might be the last one that I ever get to spend with my dad. I'm not sure whether you heard, but well, as you might remember, may or may not remember, back to 23, my dad had cancer then of the bladder. He got it taken out, but back in the middle of April, he got told he has cancer again, and they're saying 3 to 6 months. But, I'm praying for a miracle. I'm hoping for a miracle. And he is not saved as well, so. Thanks, Massive. Oh, I just noticed some coloring in the midst there. Okay, so it's there's the door. Okay, so that has now got hinges on it. Yeah, I just wasn't sure whether you were been here since. Sometimes all the streams run together, and you're like, okay, I don't know who was on what stream, and I just wasn't sure whether you'd been on a stream since I found out or not. Okay, so now it's time to light this joint and shade it. Oh, let's take the green away. So besides the lighting and shading, what do you think? Even without the lighting and shading, this looks pretty good, in my opinion. Okay, so up to panel one. you know, like even here, take that down. Here's page 2. And then here's page 1. Page, actually the middle panel here, and probably the top panel, I actually need to add the picture that I have behind Canadian Shield. Yeah, definitely very tedious. And right now I've only been doing it on stream too, you know. Oh, I think there's going to come a point near the end that I'm going to have to do a bunch off stream. And I will, of course, you know, if I need to do it off stream, I'll do it off stream. Or off. But I'll probably record myself and make it a time lapse video or a speed up video. You know what I mean. Okay, so here we have, we're shading up his face. So let's grab that color, darken it a little. Okay, so I'm gonna see inside his ear, by his I'm gonna do a little bit under this eye. Shading. We're gonna do a little bit in this here. Uh, and probably should do right up in here. There we go. Think that looking good. Rick, have you ever looked for collaborators in Facebook groups? Or do you mainly find people to work with from YouTube? I am in a bunch of groups on Facebook, and I should probably look there, but I guess because I've gotten to know you guys, a bunch of you guys here on YouTube, you know, we become sort of friends and all that, acquaintances, whatever. I want to give you guys work, you know, I guess because I know you. But I guess in some, I've looked, but I haven't looked. Went and grabbed the groups, but I haven't really went in and searched the groups for anybody. Yeah, there are definitely groups, you know, like you know, I'm not sure what you think of my coloring, and I'd offer myself, but I think I'm going to be too busy. Um, I'm not. He just recently subbed to me. There was a guy named. He was here quite a bit a long time ago. Raggedy Man. He does coloring. Or supposed to. I'm not sure whether. Uh, he did a comic with Pope Fire, so up on what's the name of it? Webtoons. See whether I can see whether I can get that link. Uh, uh, subscriptions. Oh, this is not black and white. I thought it was color. Well, he does have an image here. There's the link to their webtoons. Okay, is that the eyes? What have we got? Oh, that's probably the thumbnail. Not by thumbnail, I mean thumbnail and him. Oh. Fingernail of the thumb? Here, let's actually come back to this page and grab our darker. So I'm not sure whether you were here or know of Raggedy Man. I was thinking of getting him to be a colorist at some point myself for me. Yeah, I put a couple things up on Webtoons too. Should actually. Metal's up on there. Dillard's actually up on there. Uh, the Great Cyclopean's up on there. Yeah, I haven't read the comic. Well, I read a couple chapters of it. I saw that old comic Dillard did kind of Cosmo on on their way back in the day. Yeah, he unfortunately never finished that. But Raggedy is definitely a good guy, so yeah, you can see his artwork there. That's definitely his artwork. Um, I I've probably seen something of his coloring. Um, Let me check my. Fan art page. Uh, uh, let's see. Let me bring up. Let me go capture. So there is a picture. When I was doing my fan art contest, and you probably weren't around for that. There's something he did for that. One of my characters, Blood Oath. Yeah. See whether we got anything else here by Raggedy. Oh, uh, and actually, I might have colored this one. I don't know. Yeah, he probably did. See if there's any more by him here. No, these are all what they would have submitted, so I didn't color that. So there's a couple ones of stuff he's colored. Oh, did you see that? No, you didn't. Sorry. Just pull up your webtoon link. Yeah, they don't want me to create an account. I'll have to do that soon. Okay, let me re-show that stuff. Since, okay, here is the Blood Oath one. Make sure I'm showing it this time. There we go. So an idea of his coloring on that, and then down here we had another one by him. Shape. I like the costume on that shape character. Yeah, she is, if you can't guess by the name, a shapeshifter. And she's a good guy too in my universe. Yeah, well, she's also supposed to be a teenager, so she's probably a little taller than what she's supposed to be, and she's probably in her shape shifting abilities for a hero form amplified herself, endowed herself. She's a teenage girl, who suddenly got superpowers. Here, let me see whether actually I have her bio up here, or whether I still need to put it up. There's Actually, I used Raggedy's Man's image for the, well, part of the profile. Yeah, Karen Walker. Normally, she is 5'1", 100 pounds, high school student, not group affiliation, none, city of residence, Vancouver, BC. She's single. She has red hair, normally red hair, normally blue eyes. She first appears in Ozona 5. Graham Walker, adoptive father. Wilma Walker, adoptive mother. Karen was adopted by a Christian couple, Graham and Wilma Walker, who operated a farm. She was found on their farm underneath a tree with a note from the mother asking for somebody to take care of her. At this, they decided to adopt and raise her like she was their very own daughter. After school one day when she was 13, she was in her room laying on her bed reading a book, killing time till she was to meet up with some friends at the mall nearby. As she reads the story, she begins to imagine herself as the heroine in the story from the book's description. When her mom calls up to her telling her her ride has arrived, Karen gets up, sees her reflection in the mirror, and it is not hers, but of what the heroine in the story looks like. And with that, she lets out a scream of horror. Her mom races to see what is wrong. After they calm down and discuss what happened, her mom quickly deduces all Karen has to do is think of how she normally looks and she'd revert back. With this, Karen thinks of her normal looks and changes back to herself. Her mom wipes away some tears on her face. Well, I said head, but face would probably be better. And says they will talk about it more when she gets back from going out with her friends. Well, in the city, she gets a little taste of being a superhero while at the same time learning more about her powers. Karen can alter her form into anything or anyone of any size at will. She has no training in fighting at all. Shape is a good name for Shapeshift. Yeah, I thought so. Hence why I named her Shape. It's really to the almost right to the point. Like, so I guess it's no different than Morph, right? From the X-Men, or Shapeshifter from Invincible. Trying to think, that actually looks pretty good. I don't think there's much more I need to do for, well, a shirt anyways. So I'm not sure what you think of her history. So, uh, Zona number 5 will have her, just after she got her powers or realized she had her powers. I forget even who the villain of Zona 5 is. Who will she be helping Ozona fight? Yeah. Ooh, Warard, which is basically a wizard of some sort. Um, let's see, Warard. I forget exact. Go to him. Oh yeah, he's names himself after a demon. Richard Benson, 5'11", 175 pounds, chemist. Group affiliation, Alliance of Dark Forces. He is divorced, bald, with black eyes. Born into a family of witches and warlocks, Richard helped to prepare stuff that was needed to make the potions, magical brews, etc., that were being made at the time. This was all to groom him into an apprenticeship in the mystic arts. After growing up and finishing high school, he became a chemist by day, and by night he practiced the mystic arts. At some point in his endeavors, he came across a demon that claimed it had been imprisoned somehow and that it wanted freedom, and that if Richard would do that, it would what it took to free him. It would give him powers beyond that which he could think of. With the promise of great power, Richard quickly agreed, and the deal was struck. Not wanting anyone to know it was Richard Benson gathering the stuff to free the demon, he took the name of the demon as an alias. He now searches for the items that he believes will one day free the demon Warard. Warard has been vastly trained in the mystic arts, so he is able to conjure up many spells and demons to do his bidding for a short time. Through his knowledge of chemistry, great such things in the line of smoke bombs or a stink bomb or anything else like that. In the area of hand-to-hand combat, Warhard has very little knowledge. He relies mostly on the spells and the demons that will do his bidding and his knowledge of chemistry. I dig it. Once I create my Webtoons login, I'll have to read some of your comic shorts too. I like it. It almost gives me vibes about Chicken from the DC universe. Sounds very cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We might actually get we actually get this panel completely shade it? Who knows? uh, Ba-ba-da-ba-doo, Scooby-Doo. But I guess a more villainous version of Etrigan, since Etrigan's supposed to be a hero. Okay, so I'm liking that. Okay, so can yeah, I think there's a little bit that we done for that belt on the far side. There we go. Let's. I love the difference in size between Canadian Shield. Yeah, and that's one thing I actually sometimes have to correct with this artist too. Unfortunately, he doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't quite get the height of the Canadian Shield. Like you see my standee, man. When I first put that up and I looked up into it, it's like, holy crap! He is big. And I'm just talking like in height because I like that standee, and I love Dillard's work, but that isn't even quite the width that he should be. Like, I'm not sure whether you seen my turnaround for him. Here's a turnaround for the Canadian Shield that I created. Like, here's something. I just sent this to Alpha the other day, this thing. Now, these other guys need to be done up a little better. Shield is done completely there. But here's a size comparison. Snowdrift there, she's sort of close to the right size for her there. So because I was before was doing this coloring, I was getting her turnaround done. So this gives you something of a reference. Hey, just because they're taller than you doesn't mean you don't have a chance with them. Although I don't know any of the romance of Electine yet. Snowdrift, if it's wasn't made apparent in her first comic, her romantic interest, of course, is going to be Rick Arrow, and I know who Ozona's romantic interest is going to be eventually. When she's first introduced, she does have a boyfriend. But hint, he's not going to end up being her boyfriend for, I'm not sure how long, but I won't say long, but might be a couple years, but eventually she's going to get a different boyfriend. But I'm not going to say who at this point. I know exactly who, but I always enjoy reading the romance between superheroes and characters in comics. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Yeah, I do too. Okay, so that's the white of his eyes. Okay, so I think the shading is done for him. Um, let's hopefully get some lighting done here. And of course, Insecto has his wife, so we already know his romance, and there Jason Post does as well. The Wiz, he's a teenager, so yeah, we're probably might end up having some romance. The Wiz, the Wiz, geez, the Wiz is a combination really of a bunch of characters. For me, he's got the Spider-Man slash Superman colors, but he's not really that type of character. Um, he's got the genius of, well, technically, probably beyond Tony Stark or whatever, like the geniuses of the Marvel and DC universe. So he's got the smarts that way, but he is a teenager like Peter Parker when he started too. Like I'm not sure whether he's gonna. I forget whether I have him in high school when we start, or whether it's late middle school. I'm not sure whether it's grade 7, 8, or 9 when we start for the Wiz. And of course, I also know the Canadian Shield's love interest, and again, it's not one that I'm giving away now. Not that anybody would know the character who it's going to be. If I said so. I probably won't. Planning on finishing up in about 10 minutes here. But thanks for stopping by. It's been great having you here conversing. Catching up. Okay, you too. God bless. I'll be back here Monday. You know what? I think that's it for lighting. Some lighting from the living room and outside is going to be hitting them, but like there. Okay, so let's. Okay, so not much more for lighting for him. John Sims is actually probably done. And we didn't even get the lighting done on the first panel there. Completely shading and lighting. But, we've started, which is good. Got distracted a little, but that's all right. Like I said, if we really need to, we will hunker down and be doing nothing but coloring near the end of the campaign to make sure this is all done. So, yeah, it's been good having everybody here that's been here. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks to Massive talking. It's been great talking with them, sharing. Anybody else got it? Maybe anybody got any prayer requests? I'm not sure whether there's anybody else here. Doesn't look like it according to YouTube. So I'll just say, yeah. Lord, thank you for a good stream. Thanks for what I was able to get accomplished. It's a decent amount. And thanks for bringing Massive here to chat with. And help me to get more done, even more done in the next few days. Especially Monday when I'm back on. And so, yeah, thank you. And just pray for my dad, Lord. Just heal him and show him your salvation. In your name. Amen. Okay, so we'll catch you all Monday, hopefully. Very shortly after this, a Bible reading will be out. So look for that. That'll be out in the next 10 minutes or so. But if you're watching this at that point, it's probably been out for a little bit. So, bye for now. God bless. Love y'all. Have a great, wonderful day.